What's up, guys? Today we're gonna continue with our Spotify clone here, and if you haven't watched the other videos, I will post them down in the description below, and I will also post them up in the right corner. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so we're gonna carry on with the audio lists, and as you guys can see, we have already declared all the functions we need, and we did that in the previous episode. So all that's left for us to do is essentially to create the layout, and we will start to give this div a class name with audio lists. And in here we also want to create an h2 tag with the class name title. So we're gonna write that now. Title. Just like that, and in here we want to write the list, and then we want to create a span, just like that, and in here we want to write, or actually do songs.length. That and type songs. Okay, so the h2 tag is done, and songs is undefined for some reason, or dot length maybe. Okay, interesting. Anyways, let's carry on. And below this, we want to create another div with a class name of songs container. In here, we want to do brackets, type songs, and songs.map, and we're gonna take in two parameters here, which is the song and the index. And after that we want to do an arrow function and brackets again, and in here we want to create a div with multiple attributes, such as a class name of songs. We also want to create a key, and this should be song dot ID, just like that, and an onClick function, which should take in an arrow function to set main song, which is a function we created, and it should take in song dot songs, or songs dot songs, song dot song, and also song dot image source. Yep, it's fine. And move this terminal down a bit, and now we want to go down here and create an end tag there, and also an end tag for the div, just like that. And if we save this, we probably want any errors, but songs is song undefined. It's undefined for some reason. I don't really know why. It shouldn't be, because we have defined the song up here, so it's interesting. But we will oversee that error for now and carry on. So in here we want to create another div with a class name of count, and in here and we also want to create an end tag for a div, and in here we want to create a p tag that takes in a parameter or a variable, and this should be these kind of tokens, and it should take in a $sign or hashtag and then $sign, and then brackets, which is gonna be the variable, and this is gonna be index +1. Yep. And below this div, we want to create another div with a class name of song. And inside this div, we want to create another div with a class name. Oh, we didn't create a freaking end tag. Create an end tag. And inside this div, we want to create another div with image box. img box. And this doesn't want to create another end tag as well, so we'll do it manually. And in here we want to create an image with a source of local image, which is defined up here. Nice. And we also want to have an alt, which could be just a local image or whatever. It doesn't really matter. If you don't have an alt, you will probably get a warning. Nice. And outside of this div, we want to create another div, which is called section. So it's gonna be div class name section. And this is probably not gonna give us an end tag either. So we create another div, and in here we want to create a p tag, which will have a class name of song name. Yeah. And inside this, we want to use a variable. So if song exists, we want to get the song name. Just like that. And we will also want to have a space here as well, so it doesn't look funny. And inside, we want to create a span. And this span should have a class name of song span, just like that. And in here we want to have another variable. So if song exists, we want to have the artist's variable inside of that song array. Nice. That should be that. And inside of and outside of the p tag, we want to create another div with the name, class name of hits, and also create an end tag for it so it doesn't give us any errors. So we're going to create a p tag in here with a class name of hits. And in here we want to have an icon as well, and this should be FA headphones, just like that. And below this should be 1000. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so below this p tag we also want to create another p tag with a class name of duration. And inside this p tag we want to create an icon with a FA reg check. Is it M? Have I defined it wrong here? Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be clock actually, so never mind. FA reg clock. Yep. And down here we also want to type some miscellaneous time. It doesn't really matter. Reg clock is not defined. Okay, very interesting. Because we haven't imported, so we're gonna do that. FA reg clock. Now it should be fine. We got back those errors. That's totally fine. And outside of this p tag, we want to create another div with a class name of favorites, and also on click event. With an arrow function to change favorites. And this is gonna take in a parameter, which is gonna be if song exists, we're gonna take in the ID of the song. And we also want to go down here and end this tag and create another end tag for the div. And in here we want to say that if song exists, then we want to check the favorite variable. If that is true, then we want to display some JSX, and that is gonna be an icon of FA heart. So the heart will display if it's true. Otherwise, we want to display FA rig, and you essentially want to put a semicolon here and create another parentheses so we don't get an errors. Create a function inside of those parentheses and say FA reg heart. Just like that. So what this essentially do is saying if the song exists, we want to check if the favorite variable in the song is true. And if it is true, we want to display this icon. Otherwise, we want to display this icon. It's quite simple, actually. And down here, we want to essentially type music player. And this will take in some parameters, which is going to be file. And this is going to be the song. We have chosen, and image source, which is going to be to the image. And autoplay is gonna be auto equal to auto, just like that. And close those. And now we have song is undefined for some reason. So I'm gonna try to. It may be. Let's see. It's in the line of 68, so it's probably gonna be never mind. Line, oh, it's another script, never mind though. Let's do this then. We go into the inspector here and try to figure out what the problem is. Okay, so we're gonna make this a little bit bigger. We have a lot of messages. I will actually refresh this. So we get just 4. Okay, so songs is undefined. It is in line 45, which is here. All right, and the songs essentially is this, and the default state is list. So list is undefined for some reason, and that's because we are importing list from song list, and song list is a React component that we haven't created yet, so we have to create that. So that's fine. So let's do that. Okay, so in here we want to import React. I will also remove the inspector here. We don't need that. So import React from React. Simple as that. And we also want to import some songs. So I'm gonna copy this so you guys can copy it. Just like that. Now this is probably gonna get some errors because we haven't set the songs folder yet, and also the different songs in that folder. Profile image is not fine because we have to do that, and I think we also have to do the same things because we have to jump out of 2 folders, so we have to do that for both or for all of these imports. That's totally fine, and then we should be able to create a songs folder and import the files. And the files will also be in the GitHub repository that I will link down in the comments below. So anyways, so since we jumped 2 folders out, this means that we will probably jump out of the component, and the songs folder should be in the source. So create a songs folder in the source folder, and in here we want to import some files. And those files will be in the GitHub repository so you guys can go in and just download all the songs. And the songs are in fact free use, so it doesn't really have any copyright rights to it. And that's great. But anyways, let's import these songs here. So we're gonna go here, songs, and boom. There we go. I'm gonna copy these and go into the right folder. It's gonna be around here. Let's go into Spotify clone, source, songs, and boom. Now we should see some. Yeah, so all of the errors almost disappeared. That's fine. The reason why we get these errors is because we doesn't really export the lists, but we're gonna do that right now, so that's fine. So we're gonna export, type export, and this is gonna be a const, which is gonna be the list, and this is gonna be equal to square brackets, and then we have a multiple items in the list, so to speak. And we're gonna type the ID, which we must have. We also want to have a variable called favorites. And I just typed that so wrong. Favorites, just like that. And this should be false, that's a default. The song name, I'm just gonna do some really boring shit right now and type just song name. You guys can type the name of the song, that's totally up to you, I don't really care. The artists, you can also create your own artist, but I'm just gonna type artist. You guys can type whatever you want in there. And the song is actually gonna be song 1, which we imported up here. And the image source is actually gonna be the profile image. You can choose whatever image you want. Nice. Can't resolve image. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's because we named this this folder to images, just like that. Okay, invalid expected string. Okay, let's go into the inspector. Just like that. I want to reload the page so I get a small amount of errors. That's fine. Each child in list should have a unique ID. You know, let's just create all the different items in the list first. So this, the second item is gonna have an ID of 2. The favorite is actually gonna be false, but I will just copy these because they are essentially the same, except this song here. And we will essentially just do that for all the other items. So we can just copy the items, and there will be in total of 5 songs. So we're gonna do, that's 3, 4, and 5, and we're gonna change the variables we need to change. Just like that. This is gonna be 4. It's gonna be 4. This is gonna be 5, and this is gonna be 5. So that's totally fine. That should work. Yeah. Invalid element type is invalid, expected as string. I wonder which line this error is in fact coming from. It's in. Okay, so it's in the render. It's in the audio list for some reason. Okay, so let's check. This is essentially how you troubleshoot code in general. At least when you're trying to build a front-end app or building the front-end, you have to use the inspector and the console to see your errors, because React is garbage when it comes to errors. We don't really understand what these errors mean, but in here we can actually see the row and line, and also what the error is in fact telling us. Alright, so let's see. it's all the same errors, so that's great. I might want to refresh this page. Okay, so the error is in fact coming from audio list in line 140. It's in here. Okay, so 140. Let's go. 104. I mean. Okay, so it's these parameters that in fact get us this error, and I think I know why. That is because if we go into song, the music player, we haven't created that yet. So we have to create the music player as well. And that's fine. Yeah, let's do that. So we're gonna go in here, and in here we want to import React, and also import some use state hooks, or we want to import a use state hook, and also the use effect, and another called use ref from React. And we also want to import a style sheet, which we haven't probably created yet, so we're gonna get an error from this as well. That's totally fine, and it's gonna be styles music player .css. Now we probably will get another error. Yeah, that's fine. We also want to import a shit ton of icons. So how do we do that? We create square brackets to defragment it and type fa reg heart, just like that. We also want to import fa heart, and we also want to create fa forward, fa step forward, fa step backward, backward, not word, and also fa backward, just actually. Okay, interesting. Backward, just like that. We also want to create fa play, fa pause, yep, pause, and also fa share it. And this should be imported from React icons slash fa. Nice. And we also want to import another icon, which is gonna be bs download, just like that. And this should be from React icons slash bs. Nice. We also want to import, never mind, we actually don't want to import that. Okay, interesting. So now we want to create a function for the music player. So we're just gonna create a function called music player. Yep, and this should take in some parameters, which is gonna be file, image, source, and also auto. And we want to export this as well. So we're gonna type export default music player. Yeah, this is probably default. So that, for some reason we get some errors. I wonder why. Okay, never mind, I just spelled it wrong. Interesting. And now if we go and check in the browser, we essentially just have one error left, and that is because we haven't created the style sheet yet. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go in here and create a new file called music player or player.css. Now we don't have an error left. That's great. Boom. And you guys can see also the elements we created before. So that's awesome. We don't need audio list, and we don't need song list, and we temporarily don't need the CSS file styling sheet for music player, because we have a lot of programming to do in here. So we want to create some consts, which is gonna be isLove, and this is gonna be set isLove equal to use states, and this is gonna be false as a standard value. And we're gonna create another const, which is playing, and this is gonna be set play. And by the way, this is gonna be set love for some reason. That's fine. Equal to use state, which is gonna be false as well. Nice. And also const duration, which is gonna be the const that updates the duration of the music that we play. And this is gonna be set duration. And this is also going to be equal to use states. Use state, and this is going to be 0 because it's an integer. And we also want to have another variable called current time, which is going to be set current time. Yep, and this is going to be equal to use state again, and this is also going to be 0 because it's an integer. Nice. And after that, we want to create some refs or references. So we're gonna create const audio player, which is gonna be equal to use ref. We also want to create a const which is gonna be progress bar, which is gonna be equal to use ref. And also const animation ref, ref is going to be able to use state as well. And after that, we want to create a use effect or use effect function. So we're gonna take in parameters, which is gonna be an arrow function, and we also want to have an empty bracket so the loop doesn't go on forever. And in here we want to say if file exists, we want to do something, which is going to be audio player dot current dot source is equal to file, and also audio player. Have a caps lock in? Yeah. That's wrong. It's going to be period, not with caps though, period, or preload actually, never mind, preload equal to metadata. Nice. Nice, and we also want to call this function every time the file changes. Now we want to create another use effect function, or use effect, and it's gonna be an arrow function as well, and it's gonna have an empty bracket here, and we want to say this is essentially gonna update the duration of the playing song. So this is gonna be seconds equals to math, so we're gonna use some math functions here. Floor audio player dot current dot duration. Apparently this gives us an error. I don't know why. Audio player dot current is undefined. Interesting. I will actually oversee that error for the moment. So it's going to be duration. Set duration to seconds. And after that, we want to say progress bar dot current dot max equals 2 seconds. And we want to do this use effect function every time audio player dot if audio player exists, then we check dot current if that exists, and if that exists, we want to do loaded metadata, And we also want to check if audio player exists. Then we want to check the variable current, and if that exists, we want to do ready state. And now we get a shit ton of errors. Okay, interesting. Okay, now that's fine. Already done. We can do const. So we're gonna create a function here that essentially is gonna change the play pause button depending on if you have pressed it or not. This is gonna be an arrow function. And in here we want to create a const, which is gonna be pre-value, which is gonna be equal to is playing. And we also want to set play to to set play is essentially this is gonna be t here. Nice. This is gonna be not pre-value, so it's gonna be the opposite value as it currently is. Okay. So after that, we want to create an if statement and say if pre-value, if not pre-value, which means it's gonna be, if it's true, it's gonna be false, and if it's false, it's gonna be true. So essentially, if pre-value is false, audio player, that is not what I wanted to do. Audio player dot current dot play, and we want also to do animation ref dot current equals to request animation frame, and this is going to be while playing. And if the pre-value is in fact true, we want to type in audio player dot current dot play, or pause actually, and we want to do a cancel animation frame, which is going to be animation ref dot current. Okay, so now we just have one error. Interesting. So if I reload this and check the inspector here, we will have 6 errors. Interesting. And that's because audio player dot current is not defined. I think that's true, actually, true, and I think that is also fine at the moment. Let's see, use ref. Yeah, let's carry on. It's nothing to do here. It's fine. Okay, so change play pause is done. We want to create another const, which is going to be while playing equal to an arrow function, which is going to be progress bar dot current dot value equal to audio player dot current time, just like that. And we also want to change current time, so we're going to choose current it's a function we will create later. Okay, that's fine. So we want to call it change current time, and this will give us an error. That's fine, because we're gonna create that function later, and we want to say animation ref dot current equal to request animation frame, and this is gonna be a while playing. Nice. Okay, so let's create a function that will calculate the time. So const calculate time, which is going to be equal to seconds, or a parameter with seconds. And in here we want to create const minutes minutes equal to math dot floor. This is going to be second divided by 60. So we're going to take in the seconds and calculate the minutes, which is seconds divided by 60. And we also want to create a const return min, which is going to be equal to minutes. And this is not going to be cast, it's going to be const equal to minutes. It's smaller than 10. If that's in fact the case, we want to actually 0 type out this, and it's gonna be $0 and take in a value or a variable, and this is gonna be minutes. Just copy this here in here. Otherwise, we want to have just minutes. We're gonna copy this whole thing here, just like that. And we want to create a const called seconds, which is gonna be equal to math dot floor seconds. Percentage, which is actually modulus 60, and this const is going to be return seconds, which is going to be equal to seconds. If that's smaller than 10, then we will create $0 and take in our value, which is going to be seconds. Otherwise, we want to just return seconds. Whoops. Otherwise, we just want to return seconds. And this is also gonna be a question mark here. Seconds. Okay, this looks fine. And we also want to return a value. We're going to do a return statement here and return this in text, which is going to be $, and brackets, and return min, and also colon, semicolon or colon, doesn't really matter, and do brackets and return seconds. Return seconds. Okay, let's create another function, which is going to be change current time, which is going to be an arrow function that's going to take in progress bar dot current dot style dot set property and this is gonna be played with and it's gonna take in a parameter as a string, so it's gonna be $, and brackets, and in here we want to do a calculating function here. So we're gonna do progress bar dot current dot value value divided by duration multiplied by 100, just like that. And below this set property, we want to set current time to progress bar dot current dot value. And we also want to create another arrow function, which is going to be change song love, which is gonna be equal to an arrow function as well. And this is gonna be set love to not love, or not is love. Nice. Okay, so let's create the return statement for the HTML then. So it's gonna be return parentheses, and in here we want to create a div with a class name of music player. This is probably why it is actually we're getting errors, because we haven't created the layout yet. That's fine. So let's create that. We also want to create another div, which is gonna be song image. And inside this div, we want to have an image of source equal to image source, which is obviously the local image that we passed as a parameter before. And this can just be local image, doesn't matter. And outside of the song image div, we want to create another div with the class name of song attributes actually. And inside of this, we want to create an audio, which is gonna have a reference equal to audio player, and tag here as well. So as you guys can see, our error with audio player.current is in fact gone, and that's because we created an element with that reference. And we will essentially do the same with the progress bar. Okay, so inside the song attributes, we want to create another div with the class name of top. And inside this div, we want to create another div, the class name of left. And inside this div, we want to create another div with a class name of loved. And this is gonna have an onClick function on it, which is gonna be not an arrow function, but just a function. And we're gonna call it change song love. And yep, and if if is love is in fact true, we want to return some JSX. This is gonna have an icon, which is gonna be FA reg heart. Otherwise, we want to return something else. I'm actually gonna make this somewhat symmetrical, so I'm gonna do that. We want to return something else, which is gonna be an FA heart. And it doesn't create an end tag again. I know why. It's because that is not parentheses, that is brackets. So in here we want to create an I tag, which is gonna have an icon of FA heart. Just like that. Nice. And outside of this if statement here, or actually outside of this div, we want to create another icon with a class name of download. And inside of this, we want to have the PS download icon. So outside of this div, so inside the top div, we want to create another div, yep, which is gonna be middle, be a div with a class name of middle. And inside we want this div, we want to create another div with the name of batch. And inside here we want to create an icon, which is gonna be FA step backward. And outside of this icon here, or I tag, we want to create an icon with FA backward, just not step backward, just backward. And outside of this div, we want to create another div with a class name of play pause. And we're gonna have a click event here, which is gonna be change play pause. And we want to create an end type for this, and we will say is in fact, if we are in fact playing, then we want to return some JSX. And otherwise, I will just do this right now. Otherwise, we want to create some other JSX type of JSX. So we would just want to do a semicolon and not brackets, parentheses, just like that. Now we will get the square brackets for some reason. Nope, nice. Okay, that's fine. Now we just have to create the icons we want to return. So in here we're gonna have FA pause. And in here we want to have FA play. Just like that. Nice. Now outside of this div we want to create another div with a class name of forward. And inside this div we want to create another icon with FA forward. And beside this icon we also want to create an icon which is going to be FA step forward. Just like that. And if we go to below two divs here, we want to create another div with a class name of right. And this is gonna have an icon of FA share it. Okay, so then we go two divs below this, or actually one div below the right div, so it's gonna be here. We want to create another div. Oh, it wasn't found for some reason. Interesting. I might have spelled it wrong. Oh, it's alt, not it. Okay. So it's gonna be share alt, and if we go down here, this is gonna be share alt. Okay, now we want to create a div with a class name of bottom. And in here we want to create another div with a class name of current time. So we're essentially going to create the progress bar. So current time. And inside this div we want to have a function, actually. It's gonna be calculate time, and this is gonna take in current time. Current time. Just like that. Interesting, we get some interesting errors here. Let's carry on with our coding and see what happens. Okay, so that should be current time. And now we want to create an input, which is gonna be the progress bar. And in here we want to do a type of range. This is actually very important because otherwise we want to be a scroll bar. And we also want to have a class name, because we're gonna style this later, of name of progress bar. We also want to have a reference of progress bar, which we defined earlier. We also want to have a default value, not default, check the value, which is going to be equal to 0. We also want to have an onChange event, which is going to be change progress. Progress. Okay, interesting. Did we define this function up here earlier? I think we did. Have I missed something? Yeah, I might have actually. Change progress. It's over current time. Okay, so I actually changed or missed a function. So we're gonna create that now. So we're gonna create a const named change progress, which is gonna be an arrow function. And this is gonna take in an audio player dot current time equal to progress bar dot current dot value. And we also want to call the change current time function here. Okay, so let's go down here and carry on with our inputs. So that's gonna be change progress, and we're gonna have autoplay equal to auto. Autoplay just like that. Yep, and now we want to create the end tag of the inputs just like that, and now we actually don't have any errors left. And you guys can see that we have a scrolling bar that changes the time here, and all different icons which we will style later. So that's actually really cool. So now we can change the time of the song we are actually listening to, and you will actually be able to listen to the song as well with this program here. So before we end this video, I'm just gonna finish the last div here, which is gonna have a class name of duration, and inside here we're gonna have a duration. So if duration exists and if is none, so the duration is not null or is in fact a value, and if calculate time duration, we also want to calculate the duration obviously. So do we want to, if this is in fact true, we want to do duration and is not none, which is gonna be the duration, so it's not null or nothing, is in fact if it is a value, and calculate time, which not capital C should be in, with duration just like that. Otherwise we want to have just a normal text with 0.00 colon 00, just like that. And is none is not defined. Interesting. Is that a function that I have to create or what? I think it's a built-in function actually. So that should be really weird if it's warning me about that. That's weird. Let's check this out. Oh, I know why. It should not be a capital A. That's why. It should be a small a. This should work, right? Yeah, nice. Great. So that's that. I think the only thing that's left is in fact styling the whole page actually. But we will do that in the next episode. So if you enjoyed this video, then great for you. I hope you really enjoyed it. And yeah, I hope your life is going well, and keep going programming and learn new knowledge to actually improve yourself. And that's all I want, to improve your own being, so to speak. But yeah, have a great day everyone.